Hello and welcome back. Today we dive into the question, is university a scam? In case you're new to this channel, my name is Manuel Selmonhoff from Expat Channel, your YouTube channel to master your life and career abroad. And now have fun with the video. Is university a scam? The answer to this question, or I would rather say the opinion to this question, is highly emotionally charged. On the one hand side, you have those people who proclaim that university is indeed a scam, that it just makes you a corporate slave, that it rips out all your creativity, that it's a waste of time and money, and that all the successful people, or most of them, actually did never obtain a degree from university, but those people who work for those successful entrepreneurs, they have a degree. On the other hand side, you have those extremists who say you definitely need a degree, a top school degree preferably, to be successful in life. Oh, just a monkey jumped down there. On the other hand side, you have those who proclaim that you definitely need a university degree to be successful in life, to get a good job, to be accepted in society, to make your family proud. And like so often in life, the truth is somewhere in between. It's neither or. A university degree is an investment. Investment per se is not positive or negative. It's just an investment. It depends on how you invest and what you make out of this investment, if it turns out positive or negative. What you invest is your time, your efforts, as well as money. Not only if you have to pay fees, but also during that time, you will not earn as much money as if you would not go to university. Before we dive into some of those tips, how we can make sure that it really pays off for us to go to university, we will first look into the origin of university. This is very important to understand what university can help us, which skills to acquire, which knowledge, and where the gaps are. Universities in their origin are really related to scientific work. What began in the Middle East, mostly in medicine, like really doing scientific work and finding out how this world works, or our human body works. But then there were clashes, strong clashes between religion and scientific thinking. So it took a couple of 100 years more and a shift in geography to Europe to really start the scientific revolution. And with the scientific revolution, people began to base their decisions or their thinking on logic and not only on the teachings of the religion, in this case Christianity. So it's completely normal then that the academia or academics, they were really people who focusing on scientific work to find out things that we do not know yet how they work. It was getting more and more obvious that it might not be God behind it, but some laws of nature and their dynamics. And there was so much to find out about that. And so what you still can learn at academia are those academic skills like logic thinking, problem solving, scientific writing. All those topics you still learn at university. And then a couple of 100 years later, when corporations began to evolve and began to massively influence the way we live, also their influence on college increases. So now universities began to develop a second, I would say, arm, not only academia, but also like a breeding station, factory for skilled labor, for skilled professionals who afterwards can go out and work in organizations, get compensated for that. And with that, it's really clear that you learn skills how to be a good professional, right? What you do not learn in university are skills like how to get wealthy. You might learn how to get this, or you will learn skills that then will give you a more or less high income, but it will not teach you how to use this income to build wealth, because the whole system, our whole economy is built on consumption. We are taught that once we have money, we have to throw it out the window to live the life, to increase our life so that we are somebody. And that is not building wealth. That's just blowing money out of the window. And that is actually building wealth not in the interest of academia or the corporation. So we don't learn it. We also don't learn essential skills like selling, negotiation, interpersonal psychology. We do not learn self-awareness, all those topics. We might touch it at one point or another, it also depends on the degree, but we do not really deep dive into it. So does these lack of skills or knowledge that we have in university, does it make university a scam? I personally don't believe so. You can't learn everything you need in life from one institution or from one field of learning. You have to understand what you can wear and then pull it and put it together as your education. There's some education on the streets, some in work life, some just by doing things, and some you learn in university. And to really be sure that your university you go after, that it will add to your life and will make your life a little bit better. There we have some points which are following now. Number one, know your goal, or at least know your goal as good as possible. When we enter university, we're very young, 16, 17, 18 years old, so we don't know what we want to do in life. It's really important that step by step we find out more what we want in life and also how this college degree can help us to reach our goals or not. Then we have to change it. And that's also point number two, is have an iterative process. So have theoretical education like university, acquire theoretical skills and then apply them in the real world through internships, through work experience, through just doing things, right? And that will help you to, first of all, reshape and redefine your broadly defined goal right before. So you have a more and more narrowing goal. And then it also helps you to reach this goal, both in the definition and also reaching that goal. And that is just by going out there, exposing yourself and having this experience. Because most of the time you will learn what you don't like to find out what you really like. And you don't learn this just by staying in university. I know a lot of people of really high-skilled, well-educated, very smart people who just stay in university because they are somehow content or in their comfort zone, in their ivory tower. They don't go out there because they are afraid, but they think, okay, I don't know really what I want, but I just keep up adding these knowledge, these education, these degrees. And then at the end, when they go out, they are really dissatisfied because they realize that this world works different. That their skills they acquire, the degrees, are not that much acknowledged, and they even have problems finding a job, finding a job that really compensates them in a way that's attractive. Number three is choose a broad major at its top school. Why a top school? Because it will really help you later in life. Get into the best school you can afford or you can get into. And second of all, why a broad field? First of all, we don't know what we really want to study. So something that's tried and tested, a field, I don't know. There are so many out there, engineering, mathematics, etc. They are tried and tested. So there are already thousands of graduates coming out of these, and the skills are applied in the workforce. If you study something super exotic, there might be the case that you cannot get a good position afterwards, or you find out that this is not really what you want to do, so you're really stuck. Study something broad and then define it over and over, either in your postgraduate studies and or in your practical experience, like internships, work experience, etc. And it's also important to know which major you want to do, right? And how this will influence your life. Many people study something because they like the topic, but they don't know really what they can do with it afterwards and how this is, I would say, compensated, or how this will work out with making you financially independent, etc. Those kind of topics. And then they wake up at some point and they're really disappointed because they interpreted so much into the subject, but then all the outer conditions make this subject so unattractive to them. Number four is consider wisely before you get into debt. There might be a smarter way. If you are from a wealthy background and your parents pay, or you are super smart or an athlete and you have a scholarship, super, you're well settled. If not, and you have to take student loans and you have to fill your early life with debt, you really want to consider if this is worth doing it. If you will afterwards have a degree that enables you and you really want to have a high paying job and all these consequences that come with it, it might be a good investment because you can pay back the student loan easily. But if you study something that you really like, but it might not give you so much compensation, then there might be a way of studying it at another university, and with which you also can get your job you're focusing on, but without having all those debt on your shoulders. And think about smarter ways of getting your degree or from a good school. Think about going abroad. Most people really limit their view on the universities in their state or in their, I would say, neighborhood. The world is global, right? And we live in a globalized world, and there's so great opportunities. For example, in Germany, you can get top university education for free. You have to learn German, of course. Yeah, it always a string attached, but it's for free. If you are English speaking, but you don't want to pay so much, you can go to the UK. You still pay a lot, but less than in the United States. Or I always preach more or less, go to the East. The future is East. Go to some of the top schools in Asia. That will really differentiate yourself from the rest of the people who are just running into the top schools and getting a lot of debt onto their shoulders. Think about where are the hidden scholarships? Where are those financial incentives that you can get support from major organizations? Where can you make an agreement with a company maybe? Where can you go on an exchange program where your university in your home country has a partner university, for example, in the United States, and normally those programs have lower or no student fees. That is very important. Or in my case, I went to a public Ivy school in the United States without paying a single dime. I was as a researcher there with a project that was actually financed through the industry. So I had all these great opportunities without starting my life with a lot of debt. Was it because I'm super good? No, because there are ways of doing it in a smarter way. And I really encourage you to think about it. Really develop a plan, and then you can really steer your life in the best way, or your educational life. What do you think? Tell me about your experiences. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time. Bye bye.